Hello everyone and welcome to this lesson. This time we are going to look at addition and subtraction of integers, and we will be using algebra disks. An algebra disk has got two sides. It has got the front part and it has got the back side. Okay, the front shows number 1 and the back shows -1. To get the negative of 1, we flip 1 to come up with -1, and we write it as negative of 1, which is the same as -1. To get negative of -1, we flip -1 to obtain 1, and we write it as negative of -1, which is the same as 1. Okay? What happens if we put two disks, 1 and -1, together? 1 and -1 together. For that case, this can be written as 1 plus negative of 1. So once we put them together, then we get a 0 pair. Okay? To write number 3, we can have 3 disks of 1. This means 3. And if we want to write, let's say 4, then we will have to get 1, 1, 1, and 1. In other words, we get 4 disks of 1. To get 5, we get 5 disks of 1, and so on. Okay? Now, when we have 3 disks of -1, then we have got -3. To get -4, then we have to get 4 disks of -1, and so on. Okay? Now, let us now perform addition. In example 1, we have got 5 plus -2. 5 plus -2. Now for that case, we will have to get 5 disks of 1 to represent +5, and we get 2 disks of -1 to show -2. Now you see that a disk of 1 and a disk of -1 will show a 0 pair. So this and this make a 0 pair, then this and this will also make a 0 pair. Then we will remain with 3 disks of 1, and that is 3. This means that 5 plus -2, we get 3. Okay? Actually, this can also be seen in this way. If I have positive and negative, it will actually give me a negative. So this is the same as 5 minus 2, which is 3. Okay? We'll look at another example. -5 plus 2. Okay? -5 plus 2. So we have 5 disks of -1, and we have 2 disks of 1. Okay? Now, this will make a 0 pair to remain with negative 3. So this implies that negative 5 plus 2 equals negative 3. Okay? We can also write this as minus 5 plus 2, which is the same as minus 3. Okay? We look at example number 3. We have a negative of 5 plus a negative of 2. Then we will show 5 disks of negative 1 and 2 disks of negative 1. Since both of them are negatives, they cannot make a zero pair. So we cannot pair them. So this means that altogether we have got negative 7. So negative 5 plus negative 2, we get negative 7. Okay? We can actually show this in this format because we have plus and minus. That actually gives us a minus. So it implies that we have got negative 5 minus 2, which is the same as negative 7. Okay? Now, let us perform subtraction. We have got negative 5 minus 2. Then, for that case, it is the same as a negative of 5 plus a negative of 2. Okay? So we have got negative of 5 minus 2. Because we actually know that a positive and a negative will give us a negative. Okay? So then we have negative 5. Remember, we use 5 disks of negative 1 to show negative 5. And we can use 2 disks of negative 1 to show negative 2. And since both of them are negatives, we cannot have a zero pair. So altogether, we will get a negative of 7. So our answer will be negative 7. Okay? Another example. We have got 2 minus 5. So then, this is the same as 5 plus a negative of 5. 2 plus a negative of 5. So we will get 2 disks of 1 and 5 disks of negative 1. Okay? Now, since I have 1 and negative 1, that will make a zero pair, and this 1 and this negative 1 will make another zero pair, such that I remain with negative 3. Okay? So negative 3 becomes our answer. We look at example 3. We have 5 minus negative 2. So we understand that a negative of a negative will always give us a positive. A negative of a negative will give us a positive. So we actually have 5 plus 2. So those are 5 disks of 1 to represent 5 and 2 disks of 1 to represent 2. And for this case, we cannot make a zero pair because all of them are 1s. So this will give us a positive of 7. Okay? We look at example 4. We have got negative of 5 minus negative of 2. Remember, a negative of a negative gives us a positive. So we have negative 5 plus 2. Negative of negative gives us plus. Okay? So we have 5 disks of negative 1 to represent -5, and 2 disks of 1 to represent 2. And then this -1 and this 1 will make a 0 pair. Even this -1 and this 1 will make a 0 pair. So we remain with -3. So -3 becomes our final answer. Okay? Now, I want you to pause the video and do this practice. Number 1, find the values of the following. Okay? Number 1, 2, 3. Part 2, find the values of the following. This one, and this one. Now, I believe that you can now add and subtract integers. Thank you and have a good day.